I'm Jessica Johnson Cope.
And I'm Waleed Cope. This is Commerce and Chill.
And welcome back to the latest episode of Commerce and Chill. I'm Jessica Johnson Cope, also known as Commerce, and he's
Waleed Cope, also known as Chill.
Here is where we find the intersection of business, relationships, and all things fun and wealth building.
Yep.
So, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about an interesting topic. We're going to talk about customer service. In the digital age, we find that customer service is different things to different people. So, on one hand, as a service provider, you want to be able to touch your clients and serve their needs as well as address their concerns and their issues. And we've seen the introduction of a lot of technology to help do that, such as bots and chat bots and AI
and bots.
Hi, this is...
And more bots.
Thanks for calling.
Press 1.
And so we want to take a few minutes today to talk about the difference between hand-to-hand combat customer service and AI customer service. Tell me, what you thinking?
I'm still blown away about this intro you just did. It was just like, I was like, when do I get to talk? It was good, though. It was good. I'm not taking anything away from it. So there's I got a lot of different viewpoints about it because there's about efficiency, but then there's also the human touch. Also, yeah. But I'm going to deflect it back to you. So in this topic, we're talking about customer service. And I really want to kind of drill down and say, what do you feel is more beneficial to a small, mid-sized business? Using a lot of this technology to field the calls from your customers. We all have been there. Press 1 for this, press 2 to pay the bill, press 3 for our address. And then like the last option is always press this to speak with someone. And then when you do press that, it just kind of like, did he just take a Polaroid of us? Unbelievable throwback
Shake
to the...
it like a Polaroid picture.
Are they even still in business? Talk about throwbacks. But anyway, you press the last button and then like it takes forever to get to a rep. So in your opinion, do you think it's better to leverage that technology as a small business, or is it better to be live person, get that phone call and make that immediate contact with the customer?
All right, so
Client.
I'm going to answer your question with a statement, and then I'm going to give some context to why.
Go for it.
Whenever I'm hiring a prospective client, a prospective employee here at Johnson Security, one of the things I like to ask them about is customer service. What's their idea of customer service? Now, service can vary from industry to industry, person to person, but what I always tell those candidates, as well as the people that work with us, is think about the type of service that you would want to receive, and then that's what you should give back.
That's a tricky statement though, because some people, it's like telling people, make sure you treat this like you treat your house, and you go to some people's house and it look like one thing, and you go to somebody else's house and it looks like another thing. But I hear you when you say treat it like you want to be treated.
Regardless of how much money you spend, regardless of the socioeconomic place where you start, what you want is for somebody to meet your needs, meet you at your point of need, and do it in a way that you see fitting. No,
I get it. I'm just interjecting there when I say, sometimes you got to be careful when we tell people, treat people how you want to be treated. Some people view it, their level of being treated, it varies. Like some people when they get bad service to them, they're like, it was good, it was decent. And I'm like, what? But yeah, I hear you. Sorry.
Anyway, so if you want to interface with a human or a person, then I think that personal touch is great. If you want the efficiency of press 1, press 2, if you want a more cost-effective offering, then more than likely it's going to entail technology, and so that's what the companies are going to. Unfortunately, it seems like every choice that you're given, if you dial press 1, press 2, it's anything but a person, and they won't even say press 0 for an operator or press 9 for a representative.
Gotta hack it.
star to talk to somebody.
You got to
do
Google
have
like how to
hack
reach
it.
the operator, and then or somebody's got some hack that they listed online.
You do have to hack it, or you have to listen to the very end of the messages. And we lose patience after like the second option. You're just like, oh, I don't want to be bothered. Like,
Yeah.
So either I'm just going to keep pressing the buttons, or I'm just going to time out. But when you do finally get somebody to pick up the phone, you forgot what you called, or you're so annoyed that you're just like, hey.
And then when you do get the rep, you kind of like breathing fire on them because you're already annoyed about something else that happened. That's why you call in support to get help, and you can't get help.
Right. And what's particularly frustrating for me, I don't know if anybody's here in New York, if you ever use the 311 system. So 311 was supposed to streamline different city services and put them at your fingertips very easily. So you press 311, okay, and then it says,
You're gonna get
okay,
banned from all city services now.
how can we help you today? Hey, what agency are you trying to reach? Oh, I want to reach small business services. Okay, hold on, and they'll transfer you to an operator. And then the operator's like, well, how can I help you? Like, well, I want to reach small business services. And the operator's like, okay, well, what is it that you want? Oh, I want to figure out how I can get access to training and workforce development, and I can get business support and learn how to get my licenses. Well, you can go online for that. Ma'am, I already went online, and online they said call 311.
So it sounds like from what you described there is a good use of the technology to connect someone to an operator, but the technology is not handing off the information to the operator, because the operator shouldn't have to ask you, what are you calling about? Because when you chose that option, it should have queued up to the operator to say, hey, she's calling about workforce development.
By the time you get to the operator, it's all downhill from there. Like, every time I call, it's downhill from there with 311 New York. Love the city,
okay.
but I don't like 311. Let me tell you
All
what
right, let's
happens.
not turn this into a gripe session about
It's not a
311.
great session, but it's a perfect example of how AI goes wrong.
Well, wait a minute. Is it AI going wrong, or the person who instituted the AI in their workflow gone wrong?
So what really ends up happening is how you design the workflow. If there's not a sensibility around the interface between the technology and the people, as well as the person that's making the call or needing the assistance, then it's all going to be a hot ghetto mess. Because what happens
Okay.
in 311 is the operator says, okay, I'll take a message and I'll send it to the right
We're going to
department.
get all kind of comments about 311 now.
I could have done that myself. As a matter of fact, I did that before I called 311. So the key is, if you're a small business, if you're a large business, if you're an agency, if you're a municipality, if you're the federal government, if you're going to use AI, think through the process, and don't think through it like a developer. Think through it like an end user. If you had your 6-year-old niece or nephew calling in or logging on to request information or to have a need service, what would they do? What would they expect? That's how you should design your workflow. That's my 5 cents.
Okay, so if I take 2 cents from your 5 cents to impart knowledge on my next business venture that needs customer or / client related services, I should, one, put myself in the customer's shoes to say, if I have a problem or concern or I need some assistance, I should be able to get to a live person in X amount of steps before I lose my cool. And then I should also look at using AI or whatever piece of technology to route my client / customer to the right person as quick as possible to solve their pain point.
That's a great start. I'll say there's an asterisk there, though.
Maybe 3 cents, not 2, everybody.
So here's the asterisk. It depends on who your audience is, right? Because I know if you go to my mother, she's going to want to pick up the phone and call. But if you go to my nieces, they're going to want to text or go online. And so you have to understand who your target population is,
Okay.
how they want to receive communication, how they communicate. And part of that is just having your finger on the pulse of who your clients are, having enough data about them, and then having dialogue, conversation, exchange, communication with them to understand how they communicate, what type of information they like and need, and how they receive that information.
Okay. So would you say it's fair enough that a small and mid-sized business, maybe even a large business, but I'm going to stick with small and mid-sized because those are the ecosystems that we play in every day. That a small and mid-sized business should make themselves available for customer/client support services on several platforms in which the way their client customer base communicates on a regular basis. So example, if I have a business that caters to a population that uses Messenger a lot, so should I have a Messenger hookup with my, let's say, website or my support site to say that you can contact us through Messenger, you could contact us through email, you could contact us by phone, or you could even contact us by text?
Yes. And I'm going to take it a step further.
4 cent.
There are times where your clients, your customers may not be aware of different technologies or different communication platforms.
Okay.
And once you've vetted those platforms or communication tools, if you can engage those clients and customers, you may show them value in how they can use that platform in other spaces. So
Wait, telling the client how, or are you talking about the business to use it?
Telling the client or telling the business?
Yeah, you talking about the business telling their customer/client, or you talking about the business?
Yes,
using
the business demonstrating.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Demonstrating in using different tools and techniques. So, say for example, with the app at the laundromat, right? At the soapbox,
Okay.
we have an app. Now, there are going to be some people that want to walk in and bring their clothes.
Right.
And then you say, well, hey, have you tried our app? Well, no, I don't need an app. I'm right around the corner. But if you try the app, it's da-da-da-da-da. And if you have that customer's email information,
Right.
you send them an invitation to check out the app. And then when they get the invitation by email, they're like, oh, wow, this app looks kind of cool. And
Okay.
I know the soapbox, but now the soapbox knows me because the soapbox is in my inbox.
Soapbox is in my inbox. Somebody write that down.
And so by introducing the client or customer to a new platform, that may open them up to things that they hadn't tried before and may show them efficiencies in how they do their laundry and how they get guard services and how they stay safe and how they get their food, whatever. But then that could also help them plant the seed to procure other things differently, to look at other small businesses differently, to patronize other local establishments differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, understanding how they communicate, but then also bringing new ideas, new tools and tips to the table for that customer base so that they can find efficiencies in how they do what they do on a normal basis.
Okay, so yes or no? Should businesses use technology? No, let me take that back. Not yes or no. Which one do you feel that they should put more emphasis on? Using the technology to connect with the clients when we're talking about when they have a problem or a question that needs to be answered or solved, or should it be more live human?
So I can't tell anybody how to run their business, but if you're in business, congratulations, keep up the great work. What I will say is that if you can control the entire system, that's where you win. And so sometimes you can't always control how people respond. As if you have a call center, say a help desk, you can write out scripts, you can have workflows, but you're still leaving some element to interpretation.
Okay.
And so, because you can't necessarily control people, you can train them, you can give them the tools.
The scripts or whatever, right?
You know, how many times have you gotten a call from a vendor and it just goes sideways? Or they're so busy reading the script that they don't ever address your real issue.
Right.
So I think that it's important to have a high level of touch in human interaction. You have to find out what's right for your product, your service, your value system. You know, if it's a technology companies may say, forget the people.
Yeah.
It's all about It's all about the product. It's all about the technology.
Which could, respectful, because you want to make things efficient, and a lot of times it's cost. And the human factor, the human component costs a lot. Let's make no mistakes. We had the minimum wage increase here in New York. So, that's been a huge impact on a lot of small businesses, throughout the city. The state is a little different. We won't speak on that because their minimum wage rate is phased in different, but it's all relative because if they're in the counties or wherever, their economics might be different. So even though that minimum wage is lower as it gets phased in, it still has an impact on their business, their bottom line. But there's some thought sometimes when people look at, like, if I can remove this person because it costs me X, and I can put some automation tool in that costs me a fraction of X that I was paying that person, it becomes that sometime trade-off, like almost a necessary evil, because I need to save this money to stay in business because my costs keep going up. But at the same time, how much is what I think people really don't factor in is how much is what's the true cost of it? Because if I'm losing clients or prospective leads, I'm not converting as much, because before I had a human there who was able to connect and show empathy and make a one-on-one connection, like, hey, the weather today, or what about those Giants or the Jets? Like, and somebody resonates with that because they're a Giants fan, and the person you have on the other end is a Giants fan. And next thing you know, they close the deal or they solve that problem, which continues that stream of revenue coming in, versus when it's a computer and the person's just like, press 1 or go here to listen to our hours, this, that, and the third. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. When you talk about the human touch and being able to connect with the person on the other end of the phone, in business, the way we win is by telling stories.
Right.
And I have yet to find a machine that can tell a story the way that a person can.
Okay.
And so if you are in a small business situation, you win when you help your team members understand what your selling story is. And when you get on the phone with your customers or clients, you're able to confer that story. You can tell that story, and you can reel in the customer. So that's an advantage that's a human advantage that we have, is in
Absolutely.
telling our stories, and as small businesses where we can have a leg up compared to some of our larger competition.
Right. So if we sum it up, it sounds like we need to have a good balance between technology and interpersonal connection and personal connections between those who are trying to reach our firms, whether it's for new business, problem solving, or they just want to call and say, thanks, you did a good job on my last service or order, whatever it is. So, I don't want us to take this out and not give any of our viewers, subscribers, our audience, we love you guys, some tactical stuff, because I'm really big on, when I watch something, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, Facebook, or I read something, when I finish investing my time in it, I want to be able to walk away with something practical that I could say, hey, I can use that in my business or my personal life or with our team that's going to help us move forward. So before we wrap this out, let's jump back and just touch on some of the platforms that we use that other businesses could probably look and investigate and see if that things would be a good fit for you. So a couple of things we use on the soapbox side for customers when they have questions is we use text. And when we say text, we're not talking about you taking your cell phone and posting your phone number so people can text you. No, I'm talking about using a legitimate third-party software that's just for texting. That way you have an app on your phone that's dedicated to that. Your team members can have the app. Then you can assign messages as they come in to different team members. So somebody's sending you a text about what's your pricing, or I want a quote, you can direct that to Bob because Bob is in charge of sales. And then you can assign it to Jane because Jane is in charge of all client relations when it comes to troubleshooting. So using a dedicated text app is an awesome place, because if you haven't realized yet, everyone, people are living here. We're in a mobile first society. I don't see too many people walking around, with like, I take it back. I do see people still walking around with laptops, but I'm seeing less and less people like I used to flipping them out in the cafes. I see people either on some mobile device, especially with the models that are out now with the larger screens. There's more real estate, and was it Samsung that's out there now with the one that folds, and Motorola brought the Razorback that folds. So
is this product placement? Are we going to get some Motorola, some Samsung product for all these shout outs?
No, I'm just tactical. Putting stuff out there so people can say, let me go look at that, versus this pie in the sky, subscribe, scroll, click here. Like, I want it to be real. So invest in a texting app. If your consumer base, client base communicates on that medium, obviously there's always email, but just don't say, oh, I have an email account. Like, guys, this is one thing that really gets me. Johnson can speak to it. If you have a business, please zoom in on this. Please get a domain. Don't have Ricky's Coffee Shop at gmail.com. Please. The domains are cheap. And even if you don't want to buy a domain because you don't want to have a website, buy a mailbox. Buy an email box for cheap. Couple bucks a month.
Affordable, not cheap.
Okay, affordable. A couple bucks a month gets you an email box that you can brand and say, Jake's Coffee Shop. Help at jakescoffeeshop.com. Whatever, just do that for me, please.
It'll give you a level of credibility.
Yes, it just says a lot versus Mike's Plumbing at gmail.com. No disrespect to Mike's Plumbing.
We don't know Mike.
If there's really a Mike out there. So anyway, email is a common form, but don't just have a regular email. Use one of the platforms or one of the apps out there where that email comes in and it can be channeled to different support software, like Zendesk or Help Scout. Shout out to Help Scout. That's who we use. And then you can have other team members plugged into that app. So when that message comes in right away, your team can react on it very quickly. Somebody queue up that video back when Espinoza did when we were in the box. Customer emailed us with a problem, and then it hit everybody on the team, and we all responded like right after each other. And it was just awesome because the customer saw we were in tune. As soon as that email hit the box, it went to 3 different people, and we all jumped on. Somebody called, I sent the email, somebody else followed up with a secondary email, and the problem was solved right away. So texting, email clients, get that domain or mailbox. Here's another one people that's kind of out there that's new, people are not kind of sleeping on. WhatsApp has a business platform now where you can set up a dedicated account for your business, not a personal WhatsApp account, a business one. And it has an area where you can create information on your business so people can see what your business is about, almost like a landing page. So check that out. So we got text, WhatsApp, email. Anything else out there on that list?
No, I would just add, though, the technology is important, but don't forget the human touch, especially when you're talking about relationships, building relationships with people. People buy from people they know, like, and trust. So even if you're texting, even if you're sending emails, even if you're on WhatsApp, don't forget it's important to get FaceTime with your customers and your clients. Get out there in the street, see what they're doing, see how they're using your products and services, ask them how they feel, what they know, what they like. And that personal touch is what's going to differentiate you from your competitors. I mean, even if you make a mistake, it's a lot easier to say, hey, I know Waleed. He was on the scene when my clothes got messed up and he helped fix the hem. No. When I couldn't find my white blouse and I thought they lost it, and he showed me that it was in the bag the whole time and it was clean.
Legit.
Like, there's no substitute for the human element, whether it's in business or whether it's in personal relationships. So occasionally you need to turn the technology off and turn your personality on. I find that
or turn the technology on and make it personal. Because here's my gem, and I got nothing else to say on this episode after that. Johnson said using technology, make it personal. Figure out how you can use this to get to this. See, people want to use this 100% just to communicate. But I'm like, use this phone and technology to get to the point where I can shake their hand. Like, this is just my intro. This is my postcard. So what I would say with that is, when I say texting earlier, people are just thinking this, but you're sleeping on text. Because what else can you do with a text message? You could send a picture or you could send a video. So I could easily get a text from a customer who says, oh, I can't figure out how to do X. I whip out the phone. This gets me to this. And I say, hey, Jake, this is Waleed over at the Soapbox. I got your message about you had an issue with the app. Here's what I want you to do. You just click here, you do this, you do that, and this will get you to where you need to be. And as a token of our appreciation and a little something for your inconvenience, here's a coupon code you can insert right here when you go in the app, and I can have it pop up in the video. Like, forget the pop-up part, because then I got to do post-production. I can just record the video on my phone while I'm still in my texting app and hit send. And then he or she gets a video from me personalized. I'm saying their name repeatedly in the video, showing them what to do, and then they're like, damn, they care. And this is not some canned video or something that they just pulled out the stock footage in Vado. My team is in the background cracking up because they know what I'm talking about. It's not some stock footage that they just sent me to say that they said this is how you solve the problem that they send to everybody that has a problem. Because I address them personally. So that's my real tip. Using technology to get to this.
All right, so we're out of town. We're out of town and we're out of time.
Out of town?
Thanks for stopping by for another episode of Commerce and Chill. If you want to take your commerce to a whole nother level so you can spend more time chilling with your bae, what you need to do is use this to get to this, and don't forget the human touch. Those are just our 5 cents from the Cokes. Check us out. Leave us some comments. Give us some stars.
Hit the bell. Subscribe. Show us some
on
love.
Social,
Leave a comment.
Waleed,
Thumbs up.
CE.
And if you don't like it, still put something in the comments and tell us what we need to do better.
Jessica Johnson Pope. Check us out. Let's get the dialogue popping. Use this to get to this. We'll see you soon.